Greetings all, quick video this one. I was very fortunate to be given a Commodore 16 to go with my Commodore Plus 4, my homemade cartridge, and no power supply, no sense of whether it was working, so brought it back for a bit of testing. First thing I did was go onto eBay and obtain a genuine Commodore power supply, so very pleased to find that. Plugged it in, switched it on. First thing that happened, nothing at all, no power. It turned out someone had been into this and removed the fuse. No idea why. Then, having plugged the computer in, I got a typical black screen. And that always creates a problem. How do you diagnose those? Well, the simple answer, and I think this video proves the point, is you really need to find someone who has a working machine. Because what you do is you remove the chips from this machine, one by one, place them into a known working machine, and very quickly you can ascertain which of the chips are not working. If it's one of the socketed chips, which are the bigger chips, you have the processor, the equivalent to a 6502, forget what it is, 8501. You have the PLA, which number I always forget, and you have, in these machines at least, the TED chip. It turned out it was the TED chip at fault in this machine. Quickly swapped that over, job done, the quickest repair you've ever seen. If those don't work, then chances are there is a ROM chip failure. That's a little trickier to do. You have to desolder the chips, the pins on the chips one by one, running along each pin, desoldering it. It can be quite tricky. To make it easier in the future, then replace that with a socket and plug the other chips back in. So, watch this little video and see how quick a repair can be. Okay, quick bit of diagnostics today. I've picked up a Commodore 16 for free, and then had to get hold of a power supply over here, which came without a fuse in it. So I had to fit the fuse to get that working. So I'll plug it in. I'm getting a red light, but I'm getting no output. And I've already inserted a diag264 chip, and that doesn't produce an output either. So instead, I've got a working Commodore Plus 4. See on the screen, I'm going to swap chips and find out if all the chips, the socketed chips, are working fine first, and then carry on from there. So that's off. This will another screw. This will, if I can remember how to do it. So that's screw in there. That one doesn't want to come out. So I've taken all the screws out of the Plus 4, so you just lift that up, and gingerly tilt that off to one side. Power is removed. I'm going to look to simply swap out the chips. Possibly, if I can get to it, starting with the processor, make sure that's fine. I'll put a heat sink on this one so it's not so easy to reach anymore. As useful as these chip pullers are, it's always better to lever them just gently. There we go. I can't see which way up that is, so I've Can't even see the notch actually, so I better keep that orientated. And this is an 8501, as is that under there, I believe. So the first time you remove a chip, they're always a little bit stiff. The corrosion sort of slightly welds them in place, which is why the chip pullers can actually do more damage than good. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming slowly. There we go, it's free on that side. Free on that side. A bit fluffing away. So the +4, they always seem to go upside down. So this will be the first test, see if the processor is okay. Ooh, I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. And I'm getting... the processor is fine. So that's good news. Another chip we could test.
One down, 2 to go.
Well, PLA is another common fault. That is the 251641, which would be that one. We go for that one next. And the big chip is the TED chip. Given I'm getting no video signal, that's a possibility. Gently does it, tease it out one side at a time. That's a bit reluctant in the middle. There we go. Bit of extra leverage from underneath. That way round. He was looking for the semicircle notch. Let's see what I'm doing this time. Reattached. We're still getting signal, we're still getting working machine. That's good news. So it may well be that the chips in this thing are fine. Those are the two that commonly fail. We can try the TED, which in this machine is this giant chip here. That's come out very easily, that's good. There we go. On the +4, it is under this shield, which means I've put some thermal paste on there, so I'm going to have to unglue it a little bit. actually glued onto the chip. There we go, ping, there's the thermal paste. And keep the orientation of that. There's lots of TED chips available on eBay, but so far in about 4 or 5 machines I've not had one fail. Let's see if this is the first. Still had the power attached. So there I'm getting no signal. That's interesting. Is that the first TED chip I've had fail? Interesting. I've got my video connected. Disconnect that. As this is a working +4, I have a spares +4 which I'm going to go and get and salvage the TED chip from that. My spares machine, which will want restoring one day itself. But so far it's given up a processor chip, a PLA chip, and this time a TED chip. Which is rather convenient because it means it's got 3 other machines working, which by happenstance all needed a different chip. Keyboard is not attached. Now I wonder if there's a solution for putting a heatsink onto the TED chip of a C16. That's had its thermal paste removed already. That TED chip's been out a few times because that was very easy to remove. And we shall rotate it round. So if you look at the labels on the C16, all the chips look the right way up, and on the +4 they all look as if they're upside down. So there we are. Shall I put the heatsink in? As it's the one to hand. PLA. That's our working TED.
Right. Oh yes. That's right.
Yep. Yep. You're following, you're keeping track.
Yeah.
I might put the chips back in their original machines. So that seems to have had an EEPROM to replace a kernel ROM at some point in its life. The PLA is dead, the processor is dead, and now it's got a dead TED. And when all those chips are replaced, something is wrong with the ROM. So one of these chips needs replacing as well. So it's a poorly machine, this one. And it's even given up some of its keys, giving it a gap-toothed smile. That will go on there. That thermal paste has dried, so I will need to reapply some of that, but we'll do that later. Remove the power. need the video signal. And the video signal goes into this socket here. We are populated, are we? No, I've got to take... Well, actually, let's leave the diag cartridge in there. It could be useful. Closing up. Maybe, thinking about it. Let's try that. Please, fingers crossed, I'm getting a signal. Hey, look at that, I'm getting a diagnostics screen. Low RAM OK. Was that? Low something. Flashing screens, we're cycling round again. Let's switch it off. It looks like we might be in luck. I should remove the power. Check the semicircle notch is on the correct side. And there's my bit of foam to keep my diagnostic cartridge safe. Power back in place. Let's see if we get a normal Commodore screen. Oh, we do. It looks a bit strange. There we go. That's adjusted. Arrows are working. I think it's all fully functioning. Oh, that was a very quick repair. Swap a chip. Well, I think we'll close this up and try something with it.